Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Celicia, also known as CreativiTeeByT, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today is Friday. We are already hitting June, and it's half day Friday for me. So in the summer times, we get a half day off on Friday. This is what I wore, just something real relaxing, right? So I just decided to take the remainder of the day, chill a little bit outside, and enjoy the beautiful air. While I'm out here though, I decided I would do my intro for today's video, which is vlog number 1 of my summer vacation sewing series. Yay! So I have a whole laundry list of things that I am planning on making for this vacation, and I have been working away. I have made some dents. I have got a lot done. I have a whole lot of footage. But for today's vlog, I'm going to be sharing with you the McCall's jumpsuit outfit, which is M8245, McCall's 8245. Spoiler alert, I love it. I loved it so much, I could have just kept making it over and over and over. But I have 2 views for you. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 2 views. I did make 3 different modifications, and I'm going to be working through those with you as well, so you can see which modifications I did and if they worked or if they didn't, because I did have a hiccup with one of them, so just pay attention to that because it's something you may want to know. And at the end, I am going to give you a little fashion show and tell, like brief overview of what you should or should not do, or just advice I should say. Everybody can do what they want to do, just a little brief overview. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this intro, and I'll see you in the vlog. All right, so this is the pattern of the hour. We are going to make McCall's 8245. This right here is the rack number, so it is McCall's 8245, and we are going to make the jumpsuit for right now, and if this goes well, I will also make the romper. So here is the line art right here. Okay, and so the jumpsuit is view B, which is down here, and then the romper is up here. But again, we're just going to start off with this jumpsuit. So I have the pattern pieces cut off. Let's see here. You only need the front and the back. I am going to cut out a pocket pattern piece from that doesn't go with this because it does not have it. So right here for the romper and the jumpsuit, it says you need the front, pattern piece number 1, pattern piece number 2, which is the back, and the elastic guide. So I have them all cut out, and this right here is the front. It is a long pattern piece. It has a 1-inch hem. That's all it has, so it's very, very long. Okay, and so this is where it would be if you were cut for, just the romper. It will go from the top here to right here. All right, but again, I'm testing out the jumpsuit first. So before I cut out this pattern, I want to share with you that this is the lengthen and shorten line if you need to lengthen it or shorten it. And I didn't do anything with that, but what I did do was I traced the waistline here, as you can see it in the black, because I want to put a pocket on it. And I put pockets 1.5 inches below the waistline. So if I measure up this waistline with like one of the lines on the grid, you'll see that 1.5 inches is here, because this is 1 inch and this is 1/2 inch. So I have my pocket line right here, and I'll share with you in a different clip the pocket pattern piece that I've used. But when you do that, you just make sure you do it on the opposite side of the inseam. This is the inseam, so make sure you're doing that on the opposite side of the inseam. And if you're cutting 2 here, you need to cut 2. If you cut 1 on the fold, you still need to cut 2, because you need to put them on both sides. You need a total of 4 pockets. And so also, as you can see, I feel like based off of the bust measurements, I need a size medium. This is a finished measurement of 37, but I am using a knit that stretches, and my bust is 41 now. So I cut a medium here, but my starting at the waist of my hips, which I don't have, I go down to a small, maybe even extra small, some of these patterns, but for this pattern I go down to a small. So I did grade this in and went from a medium, and when it got, you know, to be right here, I graded in until it got to a small at where the hip shaping starts. So you can kind of see where I did that. I'll make sure I zoom in on the camera, and just to make sure that I did that correctly on the other pattern piece, let's see, what did I do? Yeah, I laid them down on top of each other and just made sure that it was traced out the same way so that it looks it's the same size on both, okay? And so here's the pocket piece for that one as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and cut out the pattern piece. I'll go ahead and cut out the pattern pieces and then show you the pocket placing from here. Oh, and also this here is the elastic guide. The reason why I have pins on my pattern pieces because the top portion of my jumpsuit I cut out a medium, so I made sure I folded down the mediums to save the other pattern pieces sizes on this. I just folded it down versus cutting it off, so this will measure out the medium elastic length that I need for this jumpsuit. All right, so let's now go ahead and assemble the pockets. So I have the pattern cut out, and of course it does not have a pocket pattern piece. So I'm going to zoom in and share with you what I have done, if it will focus. So you can kind of see a line. It says pocket. And so that's where I'm going to place my pocket. 1.5 inches below the waistline is a very good spot for me. And I did that on both sides. And so you make sure you do it on the opposite side of the inseam. And for the pocket pattern piece, I'll share with you what I used. I use this pattern piece. It's a free pocket pattern by Lydia Naomi. I just went to her website and I like the shape of this pocket. And so I'm going to put the top of it right on that line, 1.5 inches below the waistline. I also had another pocket pattern piece that's free that I thought maybe you'd like to see. And this is an inseam pocket template from Helen's Closet. So both of these pattern companies or businesses are very reputable, have made lots of patterns. So if you need a pocket pattern piece for a pattern that does not have pockets, check them out. All right, so now I cut out the pattern pocket pieces and I pinned them down where I made my little chalk marking, if you can see that there. So that's the 1.5 inches down from the waistline, and I just put the top of the pocket piece right on top of there. I did that with all 4 pattern pieces, and so I'm just gonna stitch down 1/4 inch seam allowance on all 4 pockets, and then we'll be able to assemble the garment. So now we're at the part of the construction where it says to stitch the front and the back. So this is my back because I have the 2 pins here, and this is the right side of the fabric, this is the right side of the front. So I am just going to pin these here and stitch them together, and then we're going to do this odd elastic insert. It's not a way that I've inserted elastic before on a garment, so this will be interesting. But yeah, I've got this pinned and I have the other side pinned over here, and so we're just going to take them to the sewing machine, stitch them, and figure out the rest. Nobody, don't get me wrong. Okay, so we're almost towards the end here, and we're at the part of the construction where we apply this elastic. Now there have been several different sewists, you know, mentioned that they're either going to make this pattern or they have made this pattern and they just eliminated this piece, or they were thinking about eliminating this piece. But this technique, the way it's going to be installed, is not a technique that I have done before. And one of the interesting parts of pattern constructing and, you know, putting these pieces together is when I find a new technique so that I can apply it to other garments, or just things like that. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do it the way the pattern says to do it. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, I'll just take it out, but it doesn't seem that hard. So what I've done is you're supposed to cut elastic the length of this pattern piece. I cut a medium up top and then I graded to a small. So because this is up top around the neckline, I cut a medium for this. I transferred my markings, if you can see here, with my chalk. So this is a chalk that I use, and I transferred my triangle here, and then my dots here where the medium circles were, and then I did that here as well. So here's one dot, here's my triangle, and here is my other dot. So I'm gonna go ahead and just apply it the way it says it's supposed to be applied at the neckline. And yeah, okay, so this is the shoulder. So when you're doing it, you could be like, oh my gosh, well, you're doing one at a time. So which one is the neckline? This is the neckline because the shoulders are here. So you just have to remember that. I think my camera is going flappy because the battery's running low. So I'm gonna swap out the battery and then I'll come back. All right, I'm back and the camera is no longer flickering. So now we just need to place, you know, the elastic where our markings were. So here's the marking for that triangle, and we're gonna put that here. Let's move this out of the way. So I'm gonna place that here, and then we're gonna place the others where the dots are. It is kind of strange, like this is knit fabric and this is elastic, and it's not even like it's being stretched into place, so it's kind of weird that it's even asking for that. So anyway, here is the other, and so on the picture it just looks like it should like be aligned like 5/8 of an inch. So because it doesn't look like it's like gonna stay in place, I guess I'll just pin it to make sure it kind of keeps its place a little bit, because we got to stitch this down. Again, you know, we'll see. Now that I have that place, I'm gonna do that to the other side so that we can get ready to stitch it down. Okay, so I got the second one all pinned up, and we're just gonna go ahead and go back to the sewing machine and stitch this down. So what we're doing is we're stitching directly on top of this elastic, and then we're just gonna flip it over, you know, once this is stitched down, and stitch back down. I mean, I can see why people say that they omit this, because it just honestly doesn't look like it's doing anything. But you know, we'll figure it out. I don't know. You'll see here where I have like two of the triangle markings. The elastic must have moved and I marked it in the wrong spot and it wasn't lining up, so now I have a new marking that's on the second one. So anyway, let's go ahead and go to the sewing machine. Okay, so I'm getting ready to sew down this elastic, and basically it's just stitching it straight down. But the instruction says to stitch the elastic down, you know, on basically on the stitching line, which it's not a stitching line, it's basically the seam allowance, 5/8 of an inch. And it also says to stitch, no, and it also says to stretch the elastic while stitching it down. Bruh, the elastic is the exact length of this neckline. So I don't know. I'm gonna stretch it just to be stretching it. And then we're gonna fold it over. Yeah, we're gonna fold it over. And then I guess we just top stitch that down too. So it's gonna be interesting to see if it even makes a difference. Well, I guess I don't know the difference because I haven't made one without it. But I can definitely understand why people wouldn't think that it's needed, because like if it's the same length, what's the purpose? So anyway, let's see how it goes. Okay, so now we got this elastic stitched down. So make sure you clip these little stringies at the end, and now it's just saying to fold it over. And I'm just folding it over to where the end of the elastic is on this fold, or the edge of the elastic, and I'm just gonna pin it all the way around. Alright, so this is what it looks like. So let me backtrack a little bit because I think I kind of gave y'all wrong information. I just brightened. Did you like that? Okay, so yes, when you finish this casing, and this might help because people talk about it, but they don't really go into detail. I stitched down the elastic and then it says to turn it over. So then it would look something like this. However, you're not done. It wants you to turn in the raw edge so that you can enclose the elastic. I just didn't read on to the rest of the directions. So what you would do, like how this is pinned in here, I would just essentially have to take out the pins, and how it is like this, you would fold that under, then lay it down on the fabric so that it looks like this. Does that make sense? If it does not, do it in slow-mo. So basically it's like folding it over twice, you know what I mean? But I did it already on one side, and see it's pinned all the way down. I'm just gonna have to make sure I stitch very close to this edge. All right, looks like I've opted to stitch on the wrong side of the fabric because there's no way that I'll be able to enclose the fabric properly, not stitching on the wrong side because I didn't leave enough seam allowance. So anyway, here we go. Okay, so now that we have done that, we can stitch the front to the back at the inner leg and the side seam. So the side seam is here, which also includes like my pocket and all the way down. So now that I have it pinned, I'm gonna stitch it and then I'm gonna try it on. All right, everyone, here is our moment of truth. And this is the jumpsuit. It's the pocket, 360. So I still need to finish the armholes, and then I will be completely done. I'm trying to think of which hair I'm gonna wear. I think I might wear my little blonde hair, but yeah, I'm loving it. I don't know if I should put a belt here or not. Maybe I'll style it both ways for you. Now, I'm thinking about this elastic situation. Do I feel like it's necessary? It gives it more body, like more structure. So, I don't know. I don't know that it necessarily is, but I like the stiffness here, especially with me still being heavier chested. But yeah, so
the pockets. Something's going on with the pockets. It's pulling. I don't know what I did wrong, but I gotta go in there and fix that because it's not laying. And I don't know why. I haven't had that issue. Okay, so now it's laying like it should be on this side, but this side, well, I don't know. Maybe I need to steam it down, give it some help, and then if it doesn't, then I might have to pick it apart and figure that out. But yeah, I do like it. I do have a shaper on, just to kind of with that issue right here. So yes, I'm loving it, and I'm gonna be probably only like a 1/2 inch seam allowance because I have longer legs, and if I take it up even longer or higher, I should say, then it may not look good with heels. But I love it. I can't wait to show y'all made up. Hey friends, so I have been at work all day, and I took a picture of myself in the jumpsuit to see if I was in fact okay with the fit. Now the fit fits perfectly based off of how I traced it out and how I knew it would fit. However, I did decide that while I like the fit and I'm going to wear it, it's not going to go to waste. I'm going to probably wear it with a wide belt, like an elastic type of belt. I do want it to be a tad looser for just the fact that it is vacation. So with that being said, I am going to take the pattern piece back out and just retape the medium cutting lines back onto the pattern piece. And for the romper, I am going to make it a size medium. And to be honest, the medium may not do it for me. I might want it to be, graded out to a large, but at least I know that it will be looser than what it is, and that it's right here in this belly area right here that I feel like, I don't want it just like completely like sticking to my skin. So, but I will say that the way I modified the pattern was perfect based off of what I did. It's just that now I prefer a looser fit. That's all. So if you want to do that, I've showed you how to do it. But yeah, just at the end, that's just not what I prefer. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to the cutting table. I'm going to cut out the polka dot fabric. I washed and dried it last night. So I'm going to cut that fabric out, and then I am, I'll try it on for you. All right. All right, friends, so I've got her assembled, and it's time to try things on. Like my big glasses, I like to have a lot of viewage in my lenses when I'm just at home chilling. So yes. But anyway, yep, this is the back side, this is the front. There's no pockets. I did make this all size medium, so let's go to the driveway and see what we're working with. Hey friends, hey, we are back in the driveway / runway. Coming to you and sharing with you this McCall's 8245 pattern. Absolutely love it, hands down. This is view B right here, but I did make view A, which is the romper. I'll share that with you next. But yes, this is the look. So I did make a couple of alterations. I made the size medium up top, and then I graded it at the waist into a small all the way down. And I did add pockets. So yeah, those are the only alterations that I made. And I just love this. I could have made this over and over and over, but I have other things I have to make for this vacation. So I have to move on. Now, I did not hem the pants just because I simply forgot. But there was a question as far as the neckline. There is elastic that is here. And I know a lot of people had kind of mentioned that they didn't know if they wanted to use the elastic or not. I think the elastic gives it some structure, and yeah, it just gives it a little bit more structure versus like how the armholes are. So I would say that it's probably a good thing, and I would not just like not have that on there. I mean, you could definitely not do it, but I like it. I will say though, back to my modifications, adding the pockets, because I made this jumpsuit so close to my skin and it's not like really any space in between. When it comes to the pockets, they are bulky, and that is because it's not loose. So because of that, when I made the romper, I did not add the pockets, and I actually made it all a size medium, so I didn't grade into the size. So you'll see that as well. But I will say, like, if you're looking at my pockets, like, why do they look like that? It's because the jumpsuit is so close to the skin, and these pockets just made it bulky. But I will say that I still like it. It doesn't make me want to take the pockets out, because for the most part I do kind of walk around like this, and walking around like this, it doesn't make a difference. But trust me, if I make another one, I would probably just not put the pockets in there. So yeah, 2 pattern pieces. There's only a front, a back, and because I put the pockets in, I made it a third, and then there's the elastic guide. But as far as cutting out fabric, it's only the front and the back. And like I said, next time I probably will just keep it that way. I was going back and forth about whether I should have graded it in, or if I should have kept it all medium like I did with my romper. And I went back and forth about that a couple of times, and I honestly will say that I think I prefer this shaping now that I've worn it about 3 times, just, for modeling purposes, and I did wear it to my nephew's graduation. So I do like a more fitted look at the waist. So for me, that worked out, having the size medium at top and the small at the waist going down. Now for the finished measurements for the medium, the bust is a 37. It doesn't say what the waist is. So my bust is a 41. But with knits, I always like to stretch it out 4 inches, if that makes sense. So me going down to a 37, if you add 4 more inches, 38, 39, 40, 41, that gives you 4 inches. So I definitely like this fit. I like a snug fit with knits. Yes, so if you are looking for a tighter fit like this, and you don't want to, definitely with knits, you don't want to just cut your exact measurement. You should go down. Some people only go down 2 inches. I prefer to go down by 4 inches. So yeah, this is the jumpsuit. And let me go ahead, put this stuff down and strike a pose for it. All right, so now we have view A, which is the romper here. And I made this in the all size medium. As you can see, it's a little bit more loose in the hip area. But yeah, I just thought this would be nice to wear, relax in. Honestly, you can make pajamas out of these. It's just a nice pattern, y'all. Now the shoes, don't just ignore the shoes. I'm just putting the shoes on so that you can see what I look like. I would definitely wear these with like some wedges or something like that to fancy it up a little bit. But my toes, I got to paint them and make them look a little bit better. So I don't want to do that to you all. But anyway, this is a pattern. This is again a straight medium, no modifications. 2 pattern pieces, the front, the back, and then of course I use the elastic for the front, but again, this is what it's looking like. So like I said, for the jumpsuit, I think I prefer the more fitted, contoured fit in the waist. I don't feel like this is bad, but I do just feel like it kind of helps a little bit with shaping, especially for a person like me who does not have hips and, you know, or a large butt. I do kind of wonder if sometimes if this length maybe could be a little bit shorter for a romper, but I'm okay with this. Okay with this. But this fabric I picked up last year from Hobby Lobby. I actually purchased both fabrics from Hobby Lobby, but this one was on sale for $3 a yard. And it didn't even take that much fabric to make this. So yes, here it is. You saw the romper. These are my additions to the infamous McCall's 8245. If you don't have this pattern, you should certainly pick it up. It is a no-brainer, and it's so satisfying to whip up so quick and have a beautiful piece. The more fancy the fabric, the better it's gonna look. I do plan to make this again. I don't think I'll have enough time to make another one for my vacation, but I will be making this again. I could have not the romper, but the jumpsuit, because the jumpsuit you could just wear for every occasion. I showed it to my husband. He said, "Oh, nice. Did you make that for elegant night?" And I was like, "Well, no." He said, "Oh, just to walk around the ship?" Yes, but I guess it could go for elegant night, you know? So anyway, there it is. Definitely pick it up. It's time to, you know what? Strike a pose. All right, everyone, so that is it for this vlog. Please let me know in the comments below, which one did you like? Did you like the jumpsuit, or do you like the romper? Do you like them both? Which fit do you like the best? What do you think about the pockets? I know they were a little wonky, but what do you think about them? And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button. If you have not subscribed and you enjoy this type of content, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Thank you to everyone who watched, and thank you to all of my new and returning subscribers for your support. And I'll see you in the next video, which will be soon. Bye.